Hey everybody, Cokeman 250 here. Well, little update. I asked for prayer request here about 2 weeks ago probably. And what it come down to was we, long story short, and I may get into this a little more later, but as right now, just kind of updating you. I was having a hard time making a decision, and after you guys prayed for me, numerous people I know was praying for me that I'd ask. I don't ask for prayer a whole lot, and I did, and I felt it, and I appreciate every one of you guys' prayers. But long story short, I had about 3 days to make a decision, and I finally came to a peace about it. The evening before I had to make the decision, and when I was praying by myself, the Lord told me the reason why this decision's been so hard on you, and the reason why you've been so emotional about it, is because from the second that the option the option was thrown out there, I told you to do it, and you've been fighting me on it all week. You've been fighting me on it ever since, and trying to figure out a reason that you shouldn't do what I told you to do. Long story short, I volunteered for a severance package at work, and I've been there 18 years, and it was probably one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make in my life. And realistically, I didn't even make the decision. God made the decision. I stepped out in faith by doing what God was leading me to do, with no plans at all. After I made the decision, God reassured me about 15, 20 different times after I had made the decision official, that He reassured me that He had guided me through this, and I was doing what He told me to do. God's never led me astray before, and I don't expect Him to now. I don't know what the next step is. I have been praying for a certain step, and I just don't know what it is yet. It's in God's hands, and I feel at peace with it, and my wife feels at peace with it. So, that's what I also prayed during that whole time was, dear Lord, please give my wife peace with the decision that you give me. Don't just give me the peace for that decision. Also give my wife that peace. Because, it's... I don't want her to worry or be scared for any reason. I'm the leader. I'm the provider. I'm the physical leader of the family, the spiritual leader of the family. I am the security. I'm the one who has to make her feel safe and secure, and that was weighing a lot on me. I also have 3 kids looking at me for guidance, for spiritual leaderness, for physical leaderness. I have to lead my family in the right direction, and I also have to give my family the peace and comfort that I will provide for them, and they don't have to worry about that. There's a lot of responsibility on the man of the house, the father of the family. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, and some people don't take it in high regard, but I do. Okay, so all that weighed in, on this, and I was praying through it, and the Lord gave me the answer, and it's been, let's see, last Friday was my last day, and it's a little different. Right now I'm only 4 days in. It just feels like a vacation week, but I've never had more than a week off at once. So next week's gonna really kick in. Um, since I was 16 years old, I've not been without a full-time job, and it's different. I've told people in the past here recently that it was scary, and it's not really scary because I have the confidence that God's leading me. So it's really not scared, it's different. And that's the only word I can use to explain it is it's different. If you think about anything hard enough, the future, the unknown future, it gets scary, or it can be scary. That's even if you're not doing. That's if you're in your comfort zone. That's if you feel secure where you're at. You can still look forward or think about the possibilities of the future and get scared. So why would following God be scary? God told me to do it. I don't know why. God has been talking to me a lot through this. He has been revealing a few things to me through this. Reminding me of some things. One of the funny thing is, I don't know if wherever you work, if, we have to fill out some mid-year assessments, self-assessments. And sometimes they ask you for your short-term goals, your long-term goals with the company, and where do you see yourself in a year, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and this and that. And it's funny because all through the years, I've never really, I don't guess I've really ever changed anything I've put on those because I was comfortable in the job I was at, and I was good at the job I was in. I mean, you can call it arrogance, you can call it whatever you want to. I'm not bragging. I feel like that I did my job as well as it could be done. Like, there's always room for improvement in everything. I had my weaknesses, but I felt like that I performed and executed in my role very well. And had great customer relationships, and I was comfortable. I knew I was doing good. I knew I was comfortable. I knew, my limitations and stuff. And, God took me out of my comfort zone with this, that's for sure. But on my self-assessment here not very long ago, on my self-assessment, I wrote down some things that I never put on there before. And one of those things was to utilize my leadership skills and to lead and inspire others, because I believe one of my gifts is inspiring others. Stuff like that. And like, through this whole process, I've been kind of emotional about it. And what makes me emotional is the awe that God would talk and use and work in my life. Somebody who's not perfect and has tons of faults. And God would work in my life and do things for me and guide me and direct me and talk to me. And I'm nobody. While I was going through, when I was praying through before I made the decision official, I'd be driving down the road and it just hit me and I'd get emotional, and people were probably looking at me at stoplights like, man, there's a crazy guy. What's up with this crazy dude beside me, And I'll tell you what, I'm not very emotional a lot of the time. I'm emotional when it comes to God and worshiping and praising God, but just on an everyday basis, I'm not very emotional, and this whole thing is really just broke me down. It's so humbling, you know. Um, but I wanted to give you guys an update on where I was. I want you guys to keep praying for me. Pray that I would know the guidance and direction that God has for me in my life. Pray that I would be sensitive to His guidance and when He speaks. Pray that my eyes and my ears and my heart and my mind will all be open to the direction and guidance that God gives me. Pray that I know when there's a door open and that I have enough sense to walk through it. That's the things I ask of you, and I so much appreciate your prayers. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's probably one of the harder videos I ever made, and I want to share my journey with you because sorry. Okay, so I've been teaching. I don't say teach. I say leading the men's Sunday school class at the church I attend, the church I'm a member of. I've been leading the men's Sunday school class, the older men's class, the senior adult men's class, for about a year now, kind of off and on, because the teacher has some back problems. So I've been leading, and I always try to, think of things that help me grow in my relationship with God, and some things that inspire me to do better, and I try to throw them out there, to help encourage them and to inspire them. And there's several things I say to them all the time is, what you do for others, God will do for you. I also say, the way we change the world is by telling others what God has done for us in our life. That's how we change the world. That ain't how we change somebody's mind. That ain't how we change anything. That's how we change the world, is by telling others what God has done for us in our life. And that's why I want to share my journey with you. Just because if I don't tell you, then nobody's going to know. And that's why I want to share with you guys. I got some great people out there who've been subs of mine for a long time, and I appreciate your support all through the years. I'm sorry I hadn't been making videos lately. I want to try to get back making videos. I may start doing one every other day or so, because I got a lot of projects. I've been making a list, So I cleaned my front porch off the other day. Normally I have a lot of work stuff on my front porch, and it's kind of a catch-all. I have been going to the gym every morning about 5:30 in the morning. I've been doing that for about a month and a half now. And, I can tell, I can tell I feel better. Some of my clothes fit a little better. But, I still got to focus on eating better, too. And, but I'm trying to make some changes, to better things. I'm trying to get a lot of this stuff cleaned up on the homestead. I've let go for a little while. I'm, working a lot and stuff like that. So I got a little time, and I've made a list. But I wanted to give you guys an update. I know it's kind of long, and I'm sorry. But thank you guys for your prayers, and please keep me in your prayers. This is Coke Man 250 from the land of the free, the home of the brave. God bless everybody, and remember, prep smarter and pray harder.